Hello and welcome to your number one news source for all that nerd-ish on Pornhub and all the various other platforms we are available. The Creatia Conversation. I am your host, the patron saint of podcasting, the warden Matt Ritter, and I am here with my co-host, I think for the very first time possibly on the Creatia Conversation.
It is.
The Will Gray, host of Botch Spots and Chair Shots, purveyor of Rivet City Radio. You also have a new show, don't you, Will?
We do. We have two new shows debuting. We have Dirty Belly, which is a show with two chefs, a retired chef who's now a stay-at-home dad and a father, or a farmer and a father, and then an executive sous chef of a fine dining restaurant based here out of Nashville.
You're a farmer?
Oh, I'm not in the show at all.
Oh, okay.
No. Because
I knew you were a retired chef and a father, so I was like, you pick up farming on the side too?
No, I have a green thumb, but I'm by no means a farmer. No, I got two guys to come in that are fantastic chefs and good guys, and they were like, "Hey, I want to do a show." I was like, "Cool, I have an outlet for that." So that's a fun going on. We've got nerdy news and trivia that are both going this week, so it's always fun. We've got tons going on over there. But I'm happy to be the honorary oos here at It's Creatia World and smacking it raw and getting offed and return to wrestling.
And we love having you. By chance, have you been watching anything new or playing any new games?
I just rewatched all of Dave to get ready for the new season to drop. Those of you who know me personally know I'm a big hip hop guy. I love Little Dicky and the whole comedy realism that he does with that. So I'm really hyped for that. We recently rewatched that. Other than that, I feel like I've been in this big holding pattern. Like I've been binge watching a lot of stuff that's been out, but I don't really feel like I'm watching a weekly show right now. Not since the end of The Last of Us.
Okay. I'm like halfway done with Shadow and Bone season 2. So I got through season 1. I'm halfway through. We got caught up on The Mandalorian this past weekend. We got caught up on South Park. And then because Miss Katie Kinsey Bay over at the She Leads Showcase in Savannah spoiled it for me, the wife and I realized that we're like 6 episodes behind on the season of Masked Singer. So I think we got through 4 or 5 of them. So we're right there.
I have been watching Top Chef. That's been kind of cool. They're doing like an internationals thing with that where they bring in the winners from all over the countries. But that's really it. Like I said, I don't really watch weekly TV. I'm too anxious for cliffhangers. So I'll wait for a whole season to come out and then I'll binge the whole season so I don't have to every week spend 7 days waiting for what's going to happen next. I'd rather just get it all in one fell swoop and just rip the Band-Aid off.
Very nice. We got Allison in the chat, of course, if not, 5 feet away from you. And Travis said that he finished Shadow and Bone last night. Yeah, Kate banged through it and then bought the books for Shadow and Bone. She found a really nice deal on Amazon that was cheaper than just getting the audiobooks, so she ordered those. She really liked it. My best friend John really liked it and was telling me about it, so I was like, fuck it, let me check it out.
I've been hard on audiobooks, man. And I've been rereading things in audiobook form. So I've went back through and read a lot of Hunter Thompson, Fear and Loathing, stuff like that, the Rum Diaries, a lot of stuff from when I was in college that I haven't reread in probably 15, 20 years. And it's kind of cool to get back into it. So I've definitely been on some audiobooks.
Yep, and Travis listens to audiobooks at the gym. I do not read, nor do I well, I can't say I don't read. I rarely read. But I do read. I've read all the Harry Potter books. I've read a few Stephen King works, but I'm not a big reader. And I've tried to do audiobooks, but they put me asleep because most of the time when I listen to stuff, whether it's music or podcasts, I listen in the car when I'm driving. And I have not found like an audiobook author that reads to me in a tone that doesn't just want to make me pass the fuck out.
There's a book that I didn't read. I only listened to it in audio format. And it's as weird as it's going to sound, it's been very big in the public eye as of late, but mental health awareness. And the book is called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And it's not about not giving a fuck. It's about being more specific in what you decide to focus on to give a fuck about.
Okay.
And it's such a good book. Well worth the read. It's free on Spotify for the audio version, so no free shout outs, but this one's actually free. Great read. Great read.
Travis, I read the abridged version of Romance of the Three Kingdoms, which was still long as fuck. And again, when I read something, I have to really love something to read it. Like Travis and I grew up playing Dynasty Warriors. It was one of our favorite games to play together. It's something that we bonded over. It's one of the few games that, you know, if a new one comes out, I'm going to pick it up just based off the title alone. So that was, and it's historical. So that was something that I was like, all right, I'll read this and find out about that. And then, like I said, Harry Potter, same thing. Stephen King, love all of the movies made off his books. So definitely read that. Travis has your book, or not your book. You didn't write the book, but the book you read.
No, fantastic read.
Something else that Travis and I grew up bonding over: Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We got an article here from Nerdist by Michael Walsh, and apparently the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, one of the most iconic foursomes in pop culture history, they've got a new video game adaptation coming out, and it's the last Ronin comic from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So those heroes in a half shell are also one of the most fun. A big reason why is how they work as a group and a family, but the franchise's next adaptation won't feature all of them. It definitely won't be all fun either. A new video game based on the popular, more mature Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin comic book miniseries will let players seek revenge for their fallen turtle brothers. Doug Rosen, Senior Vice President for Games and Emerging Media at Paramount Global, told Polygon developers development is underway on the Last Ronin video game adaptation. The 5-issue comic miniseries from IDW Publishing features a much darker story than most Ninja Turtles projects. The story follows one member of the group as he seeks revenge against the Foot Clan for killing his brothers, and Splinter. It takes place in a future dystopian New York City, a far cry from the usual colorful world that the characters inhabit. You haven't happened to check this comic out at all, have you, Will?
I know the basic idea of what they're talking about. Are you in the MCU when Hawkeye loses his family and becomes Ronin, and he becomes the really dark version of himself, the assassin that's running around killing all the, you know, the mafia guys and all the, you know, cartels and stuff? This is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles literal direct copy and paste of that.
Okay.
In the comic book, I won't spoil which brother it is. The remaining brother goes on this vengeance, and the whole plan is to get rid of not Splinter, but Shredder and all the foot soldiers completely, and from all the different little groups and incel groups all over the world. He's just going through and assassinating them all. Very reminiscent of what Hawkeye did after the snap with Thanos.
Listen, go check out this article at Nerdist if you want to know who the last Ronin turtle is. I'm not going to give you guys any spoilers. However, Rosen did say that he wouldn't share the name of the studio they're working with, but the game is still years away from hitting stores, so you have plenty of time to read the comic book series first. Plus, then some young fans will be old enough to play it. It will target an older audience, same as the comic. And while the story isn't the most fun in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles history, getting revenge for those falling heroes will be. So yeah, no, I am actually really excited for this. Like, you've got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles side scrollers. I know Travis loves them. Travis said he uses all the weapons. And I believe he also wears a black mask. I did see that, but they're not like, they were cool growing up in like arcade and shit. That's not what I want to sit down at a console and play now. This sounds like something with, you know, the graphic capability that we have now and the fighting, like everything that we have. That should be a really cool, fun God of War-esque story with one of my favorite franchises from, you know, what growing up. So I'm stoked as shit for that.
Absolutely. I just randomly had music start playing on my end, and I don't know where it came from.
I didn't hear it.
Oh, there it is. I got rid of it now. I was worried that it was coming through your side.
No, we were good.
Okay. I like the idea of it being, if they incorporate some RPG elements into it. I like a little bit of game that gives me stuff to chew on. Side mission, side quest. Am I going to be able to upgrade any gear? Is there going to be way to do things inside the game? Like, is there going to be puzzles? Is it going to be like a dungeon crawler? Like, I'm excited to see how much they give us with this, if it's not going to be just a side scroller platformer game.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting. And I like Travis said, I love the fact that he is using all of the weapons. So, whoever the turtle is, if you decide to go spoil yourself and read the article from Nerdist, you will find out who it is. But he will have his signature set of weapons, but he'll also have, all of his brother's weapons to use because, when getting revenge or just in general, sometimes it's nice to have a few tools on hand to help you achieve your goals, whether it's, revenge or in the bedroom. And if you need to achieve your goals in the bedroom, and you need a little something to help you out with that, go to Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve is the nation's largest marketer of adult products with millions of satisfied customers in the United States and all over the world. Founded in 1971, Adam and Eve is also one of the oldest names in the rapidly evolving adult industry. For more than 50 years, they have built a reputation as trusted and reliable adult toy store that takes pleasure and privacy seriously. When you want to shop erotic toys, Adam and Eve has it all. Men and women, straight or gay, and anywhere in between. Adam and Eve has the adult toys you're looking for, including but not limited to vibrators, dildos, sex toys, bondage toys, couples toys, lube, sexy gifts, and accessories. Unlike other adult toy stores, Adam and Eve stands behind all their products and offers a no questions asked return policy. So whether you've bought a dildo, sex swing, or penis ring, you can get a refund within 90 days if you're not 100% satisfied. So go to adamandeve.creationworld.com and use code erotica to receive 50% off one item plus free shipping on orders of $49 or more. That's adamandeve.creationworld.com. Use code erotica to receive 50% off and free shipping. And the link is in the description if you didn't write that down and you want to come back and check it out.
Nailed it. It's the first time I've ever been with you live to see you do it. I've seen you do it on air many times, but to be with you, to fill that live, nailed it.
Much like my wife will, you'll never know when it's coming.
I feel that on a spiritual level.
Let's keep the nostalgia rolling. So we've been talking about Power Rangers once and always. The return of the original cast, air quotes there, because Rocky and the blonde from the second version of Power Rangers are going to be playing the Red and Pink Rangers. And everyone was kind of wondering why Amy Jo Johnson was not going to be in the movie with the rest of the original cast. Like, we kind of have an idea why Jason isn't in. He's had some legal troubles and some other stuff, and just it kind of makes sense. But everyone's like, what's up with the Pink Ranger? Why didn't she come back? And apparently she let us know why she didn't come back. So Amy Jo Johnson, actually, this is from Screen Rant, and Marcelo Leet said Amy Jo Johnson, the original Pink Ranger, is not Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always. The Power Rangers 30th anniversary special Once and Always sees the return of multiple Power Ranger actors for a scripted reunion featuring Rita Repulsa as the main villain. Power Rangers Once and Always revolves around the Yellow Ranger Trini's death, bringing the original team together over a major loss. Amy Jo Johnson's absence from the Power Rangers Once and Always might seem surprising, considering how important Kimberly is to Power Rangers history. One of the original 5 teenagers with attitude picked by Zordon in Day of the Dumpster. But essentially, she went online, right? And declined the offer to return. She explained through a Twitter post why Kimberly wasn't in Power Rangers Reunion, making sure to point out that she never said no to a potential Kimberly comeback. She just didn't say yes to what was offered. The original Pink Ranger shared her enthusiasm for the upcoming Power Rangers reunion, though, stating that she's looking forward to seeing her friends kick ass. Amy Jo Johnson's Kimberly is one of the original 4 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers who are not returning for the Netflix Once and Always series, which would be Kimberly, Jason, Tommy, I'm assuming, and because he can't, and I'm assuming Trini is going to die, but we're not going to see the actress if they're saying 4. So that's going to be my guess as to where we're going with that. Of the original Zordon Power Rangers team, only Walter Emmanuel Jones, Zach, and David Yost Billy are in Once and Always. They said the upcoming Power Rangers reunion will still address Kimberly as well as the other Power Ranger characters who are not returning, such as Jason and Tommy. At the beginning of the Power Rangers Once and Always trailer, the Power Rangers are fighting Rita. We watched the trailer, we know. So yeah, no, she said, hey, they offered me it. I wasn't interested in what they offered me. So I said no, but I'm not against eventually coming back. But again, if not for a project like this, what can they offer her, that is going to feel big enough for her to take, I guess, or I'm very curious as to what happened here where she was like, nah, that's not for me, but I'd still come back for something else.
Saying I never said no, but I didn't say yes to what was offered was a really, PR way of saying like they lowballed me. Just we'll call a spade a spade. She wasn't happy with the offer they made her, and she said, like I want to do it, but that's not enough. She didn't say yes to what they offered, but she definitely didn't say no. Says to me that the studio lowballed her. Yeah, kind of. She claims it's not a money thing, but it has to be a money thing. Like, he's absolutely right. You're not going, especially if money's not a thing, then it doesn't matter. You're doing it for the nostalgia factor. The other guys have came out, and they even say it in the article that they're shooting some of it to where the Power Rangers they couldn't get to come back don't ever take their helmets off and stuff. So they're still going to shoot a Pink Ranger that's going to be portrayed to be, Kimberly at some point. They said there will probably be a Green Ranger at some point.
I actually think we saw that in the trailer. And my assumption from what I watched the trailer was we know that Trini dies. And then I think in the trailer, they say like they go back in time to stop the Rangers from ever becoming Rangers. So I think we'll see an initial battle, which we saw. Trini dies. And then Rita goes back in time and just kind of, they'll through exposition explain where Tommy and Jason and Kimberly went and why they're not there. And it was Rita.
That would make sense. And I feel like with the Power Rangers being a Power Rangers, they could get around the whole her not being seen on camera thing, like I said, because we know they've already said in the article that only certain people are taking helmets off. They're incorporating Power Rangers from different periods through time. So we're going to see a different Pink Ranger that came into the series after Kimberly originally left. So they're keeping canon, which I think is cool. They at least took the time to go, okay, we didn't get Kimberly here, but let's fill in the cracks with actual Power Rangers versus trying to put somebody phony in her spot and getting called out on it.
Yeah. Are you excited for this?
I'm medium excited for this. The original Power Rangers were real big for me. The whole Tommy becoming the Green Ranger, then the White Ranger, and then leaving and giving Jason the little chest thing and the flute to call the dragon up and all of that. I remember all of that well. Once it started to get into the next series and all of it into this, I kind of faded away from it as I aged. So I remember the people they're talking about, I remember well. So I'm medium excited for this. This wasn't my franchise of choice, though. I was always a Ninja Turtles guy. And once again, they kind of did the same thing. When they started progressing, I kind of aged out of it. So there's some of the stuff later in the series that I never watched. So
Travis is doing a little backstage producing here. So I'm going to share this to go along with what we're talking about. Window, boom, share. So it's a tweet from Amy Jo Johnson saying, please stop saying I didn't want a reunion because of money. Simply not true. Maybe I just didn't want to wear spandex in my 50s or couldn't go to New Zealand for a month or none of your beeswax. JDF and I both chose not to do it or not to for our own reasons. They filmed before he passed. So there is that.
I think that before we lost JDF, it feels weird to say his name like that, but
Jason
keeping
David Frank,
yeah. When we lost him, if you had followed anything he was doing on social media, especially through the pandemic, he was super like, I don't want to say a recluse, but he was staying at home and he was running these like digital martial arts schools and stuff via Zoom out of his house. And he was super active in the community and everything. So if he just said no, it was probably because the dude was freaking busy because he was doing like Comic-Cons and conventions all the way up to when he died. He
also had a movie like in the works on like the legacy of the Green and White Ranger and everything he had done in Power Rangers.
Yeah. What was it? It was the Rise of the Dragon or something weird. But there's a whole trailer that just came out for it.
Mhm.
where they talk about what he was doing and what it meant to be the White and the Green Ranger, which I thought was super cool. So he
I
was
mean,
obviously just a busy guy.
I wouldn't say his career blew up from Power Rangers, but it kept him employed through his entire lifetime, and he had lifelong fans. Like you said, he was constantly at Comic-Con. I've been to Comic-Con. There are some actors who go to Comic-Con that I feel so bad for because I walk by their booth and there's nobody there. His is always packed. Legend of the White Dragon, Travis
Legend
said.
of the White Dragon.
Yeah. So yeah, no, this really was his lifeblood. This was his thing. This is what kind of fueled him. So again, whatever his reasons were for not coming back for this, maybe, uh who knows? Same thing with her. I'd understand not wanting to be in spandex in your 50s, but also it's probably a money thing. I feel like if you paid me enough, I'd put spandex on in my 50s, no problem.
I think, yeah. I think $20 is $20.
And Legend of the White Dragon is coming out in September. So we get 2 Power Ranger films coming out very soon, with this new movie featuring Rita and everything, and then in September the Legend of the White Dragon featuring Jason David Frank postmortem.
The rise of the nostalgia factor in Hollywood continues.
All right, so this one's just kind of funny, and when I sent this to you, you literally said this all seemed very normal until you got this article. But here's why I put this in here. Obviously this is entertainment news. It comes from HuffPost by Ron Dicker. Love his name, by the way. But Dick Van Dyke crashes car into gate in Malibu. So we do a Deadpool every year, right? And one of my friends had Dick Van Dyke on her Deadpool and saw this and was like, damn, it's so close. Also, Dick Van Dyke was just on Masked Singer. So like all of this Dick Van Dyke stuff was bombarding me of like, he's on Masked Singer, the Deadpool, this article. And I'm like, I have to include this because dude is like 97 years old and still driving and crashed his car.
When I read, I legitimately, for the people listening, I was like, he was like, what do you need for tomorrow? And I was like, just whatever links we're going to be talking about. So I'm getting through them and I'm looking through Ninja Turtles, some of the other stuff we haven't got to yet. And then that last one. And I was like, holy crap. So I clicked, that was the first one that I read. The one takeaway from this is he had a car crash 3 years ago, I think that the article said, that was so bad his car caught on fire and him and his wife had to be pulled out. So this crazy 90-plus-year-old man hasn't been like, oh, this was his first accident. He's crashed multiple $100,000 vehicles in the last decade, and he just keeps fucking going. So I'm here for Dick Van Dyke being a madman on the road, apparently.
97 years old, almost 100 years old, and still out here crashing cars. No one's taking that man's license away. He crashed a fucking
Audi, man. Like, that's more than, like... Yeah. It's wild. Dick Van Dyke is wilding. He has that dog in him, as the kids say.
He does. And while having that dog in him doesn't necessarily mean he needs supplies, maybe instead of driving around the streets of LA crashing his car, he should just get himself a pet and walk it around. And if he needs supplies for that dog or the dog in him, he can go to dog.com, which is our online dog supply shopping and information destination. Everything your dog needs, from toys to treats and food, is available, including collars and leashes. They even have outdoor gear and water safety gear for your furry friends. So go to dog.creationworld.com to receive 64% or up to, I always have to make that clear. Up to 64% off your order today. That is dog.creationworld.com. That link is also in the description, because I don't want people coming being like, oh, I only got 55% off and you said 64. 64 is the max. That is the most that you can get off. What Travis say? He said, he don't give a fuck. He said, I'm Dick Van Dyke.
That's exactly what he said. He had zero fucks to give. He was like, I'm here for it. Let's, go out in a blaze of glory.
It is fucking insane. Let's keep this roller coaster running with news of, that was Masked Singer and all of that. I sent you another one. So, every now and then Wheel of Fortune has like WWE week, and they'll have WWE wrestlers come on and play Wheel of Fortune, right?
Yeah. They do like celebrity shows, same as like, Family Feud and all that other shit, right? Like celebrity stuff to give it a charity nonsense. Yeah.
I've watched these. I've never got the impression that Pat Sajak was really a professional wrestling fan, but maybe he's just not a fan of the current crop, because Pat Sajak threw on a cross-faced chicken wing, which, you being an old school wrestling fan, has to be fantastic for you. By the way, a cross-faced chicken wing at 76 years old. On
Bob
a
Backlund.
contestant who won. Yeah, Bob Backlund. So for the win, article by Christian DeAndrea says Fred Fletcher Jackson absolutely dominated his turn on Wheel of Fortune. To help him celebrate, a 76-year-old Pat Sajak dominated him. Fletcher Jackson is a drama teacher, pub quiz host, and occasional pro wrestler by trade. So he's an indie guy. He also is one hell of a wheel savant. His appearance on the long-running game show saw him sweep all 7 of the game's puzzles before solving the bonus round in 3 guesses. That's absurd. That performance saw him take home $75,800 in prizes for being good at words. It was the kind of occasion you celebrate, and after a brief moment, Sajak knew just what to do. He borrowed Bob Backlund's famed finisher and threw the hirsute occasional wrestler into a cross-faced chicken wing. And you know what? We actually have the video for this.
Yes.
So let's check this out, because it's only a couple minutes long.
I'm going to critique the fuck out of if he doesn't do it wrong or does it on the wrong side. I'm going to call him the fuck out for it.
Dude, it's Pat Sajak. Come on. It's a 76-year-old man who's never wrestled a day in his life. Can't be that hard on him. All right. So we'll share. Boom. Let's check this out.
Fletcher Jackson, right? Drama teacher.
Yes, I'm a drama teacher, and I'm also a bar trivia host, and I am a professional
He
wrestler.
looks like the guy from the last
But I do it for the
the
fun.
last person on Earth. Was it Will Forte?
Upside down cake.
Yeah.
Is that who that is?
Yeah, I think so.
Unparalleled hiking.
Yeah, that's it. Well.
Body, coffee, pet, pawn.
Oh, yes, sir. Well, the Fred Fletcher Jackson show continues here. Fred.
Non-speaking role.
Yeah, that's it. Fred.
Supporting role.
Yeah, that's it. Fred.
The starring role.
Yeah, that's
These poor people, man.
I would be mad.
Peter.
Yeah, that's it. To you two, I want to say it happens sometimes. Someone just gets really hot. You brute! Just because he's a professional wrestler. You want me to body slam him for you? I can do that. Very rarely happens that we get someone who just swept everything and make it a clean sweep by getting this bonus match.
His mind is pondering. His mind is wondering. His mind is wandering.
There you go. More money. More money. More money. $75,800.
He made more in one day than does his entire year as a teacher.
Oh, absolutely.
Look at him.
The fun never stops at Wheel.
Subscribe here to watch more Spin-credible.
I bet that was better than the last time Backlund put that move on.
Probably. Travis also said this is one of his favorite submission moves of all time. Okay. You said you were going to critique. How was his Oh, Travis booed it. Travis was not a fan.
Boo. I'm gonna be that guy because I said I would. I will. His hands were positioned wrong. He should have wrapped around, blah, 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 whatever. I'm not going to do that here. One, I'm super hyped about the fact that he knew what it was and that he was able to pull a Bob Backlund move out. Backlund is one of those names that get thrown around because he's held the belt longer than Roman Reigns. Roman's getting close to 1,000. There's only a handful of guys. Your Hogans and your Brunos and your Backlunds are up there with guys that have held it longer than him. So it's a cool homage to those glory days that I like to talk about.
All right. Where do you want to go? Will, do you want to talk DC news or do you want to maybe do I guess they're both in kind of the same vein. We got HBO Max and then we got some Nintendo Switch news here.
Let's talk about HBO first because I think this is an interesting read. And it's short, but I think there's a lot to unpack in just a couple paragraphs.
Charlie Ridgely from comicbook.com has an article up. HBO Max is losing nearly 200 movies in April. So April is about to be a difficult month for movie fans with the HBO Max subscription. The streaming service has lost tons of movies and shows over the last few months for various reasons. Thursday saw Warner Brothers Discovery streamer send out its newsletter for April, and the number of titles exiting the lineup far outweigh the new additions. Over the course of April, almost 200 movies will be exiting HBO Max. Most of those exits will take place on April 30th. The last day of the month always sees a few titles leaving the service, but this coming month has a much bigger list than usual. So April 2nd, you're going to lose Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell. Not familiar with that. April 4th, the day before my birthday, We Are the Millers, Gone. Love
That's a
Jennifer
funny
Aniston in
ass
that, by the
movie.
way. That scene with her in the warehouse and the water, and yeah.
It's a movie.
April 5th, Inside Story from 1948 and Reminiscent from 2021, which is an HBO movie, Gone. April 12th, About Face, Supermodels Then and Now. April 13th, The Last Duel and Game Theory with Bomani Jones. April 18th, the Lego Batman movie is gone. And that's one of those ones, and there's going to be a few on here where I'm like, I'm kind of surprised that DC movies are going to leave this, even though it's like a Lego movie, it's still Lego DC. Like that leaving kind of is interesting to me.
It's a lot of mishmash movies that are being taken off, and there are some HBO studio movies that they're taking off this list, and it's kind of like, why?
Yeah. Tom and Jerry Cowboy Up for, you Tom and Jerry fans. I didn't even know Tom and Jerry was still doing stuff in 2022. And then Malignant for, you horror fans. You have until April 27th to go rewatch. Check that out if you don't own it over on HBO Max, which is one of those movies that I was really looking forward to that dropped on HBO Max that I was able to watch. And then April 30th, there's a shit ton. Is there anything specifically, because it's a long fucking list, on this list that sticks out to you that you're like, shit, I wish that was going to, stay, or surprising you that they're getting rid of?
There's a couple. Eyes Wide Shut. They've got a couple Kubrick films that are on here. They're all getting taken off. Some of those, like your Happy Feets and stuff, what they did with some of the other like animation production houses and stuff are getting pulled off. The Hangover series, House Party, Lethal Weapon, Mad Max, Miss Congeniality. A lot of these, the Ocean's 8, Ocean's 11 stuff, a lot of that's getting taken off. And I'm curious to know if this has to do with the bidding war for all of these streaming services, because all of these production houses are pairing off with a Netflix or a Amazon or a Paramount Plus or an HBO, and they're pulling all of their assets from all the other streaming services. I'm curious if this big mass exodus is the first one we'll see as companies keep pulling their assets to wherever their home streaming services are.
Possibly. Do you know if Escape Plan 2 Hades is the one with Batista?
I have no idea, but I'll look right now. IMDb is a great thing.
Because if so, I've been meaning to, like, I didn't love Escape Plan, but I've been meaning to watch it just because Batista's in it. But yeah, no, there are some of my fucking favorite movies on here. Like, I am a huge
Batista. Yes, sir. You're right.
Huge fan, for whatever reason, of Deep Blue Sea. It's one of my comfort movies. I fucking love Deep Blue Sea. And that's leaving. Also, Demolition Man, another one of my favorite 90s movies. Taco Bell takes over the restaurant industry. What do you do with the seashells? Like, I fucking love Demolition Man. Creed and Creed 2. Surprisingly, with Creed 3 being released, you'd think that this is one that, a franchise they'd want to keep on. So Creed and Creed 2 going away. Again, horror fan, Final Destination. Friday, they're getting rid of Friday, which sucks.
How you get fired on your day off?
Yeah, Friday fired on its day off, on the last day of the month. Menace to Society's gone. Misery. And then some like 7, yeah. And then like some stupid early 2000s comedy movies that I love, like The New Guy and Accepted, gone.
Shawshank Redemption, one of my favorite movies ever made, leaving
Speaking
HBO.
of Stephen King, yep. Poltergeist, the original Point Break,
Terminator
Philadelphia
2.
Story,
Judgment
2.
Day.
Mm-hmm.
That's another great one.
Next Friday, so they're probably getting rid of all the Fridays, or at least what they have on there. Shaft, Space Jam 1996. So I'm assuming they're keeping LeBron James and they're getting rid of Michael Jordan, which I am never a proponent for. So
There's no need in that.
and then Superbad as well. Yeah, no, listen, if you guys go to comicbook.com, check out the article, you guys can see the full list. There are a lot of movies, and you guys have until April 30th. So just over a month to check out all of these movies. And you're going to need to stay up, because if there's a lot of shit on there that you want to get one last view of, you're going to need some energy. You're going to be binge watching hardcore. The best way to do that, Dubby. Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like other energy drinks. They also have no maltodextrin fillers, and they don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. The product is made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. Dubby has hand-picked what they believe to be the 10 most critical ingredients for focus and concentration. Dubby contains important aminos and vitamins that canned energy drinks simply don't have. Dubby uses Neurofactor, a patented all-natural coffee cherry extract, to help fuel you. This ingredient is what gives Dubby its laser-focused and fast reflex effects, making it especially perfect for gamers, but also keeping you up all night long for movie marathon binge-a-thons. They also disclose full ingredient amounts, and the product will never contain fillers or artificial colors or dyes. Dubby is also sugar-free, maltodextrin-free, and keto-friendly. So go to w.creationworld.com and use code Creatia to receive 10% off your order today. Again, that is w.creationworld.com. Use code Creatia, and that link is where, Will?
It's in the description.
It is in the description. It's also in the banner running there at the bottom if you're watching us live. Allison said that Steven Seagal's daughter is training with Dusty.
Well, Dusty's been dead for a minute.
I'm guessing she means
Dustin Rhodes. Yes, I could probably see that. He's got the school in San Antonio, I think, the Rhodes Wrestling Academy. So I think that's probably what she means. If she's training with Dusty, then WWE has a hell of a turn coming at WrestleMania that we're not expecting.
I love how she said Hango 5 and then edited it, and it still came out Hango 5. Also,
JJ's having a
well,
morning.
It very well could help with that hangover. You should try it and find out. Let's see what else we got here. Everyone should get W for this long-ass Mania week. That is true. WrestleMania this weekend, 2 days, and Stand and Deliver, and all of the independent shows that I'm not going to watch that I'm sure will be watching. You're going to need it to keep it.
Impact in New Japan has a crossover Forbidden Door show. Supercard of Honor is this week in WrestleMania. Stand and Deliver. Not to mention the plethora of indie stuff. It's going to be an amazing week.
It is. It is. Speaking of HBO Max and DC, over at The Direct, Kleinfeld has an article. DC's Blue Beetle movie gets first trailer release update. So we don't have the trailer, unfortunately, but Vince sent us this, and Vince is super stoked for this movie. And I think everything Blue Beetle that comes out, Vince is going to drop an article about. After months of relative silence, word of Blue Beetle's first trailer release has been made public by one of DC's blockbuster cast members. While the DCU ushers in a new era at the end of the year, there are still a couple of films left to release from its current iteration of the superpowered franchise. One of which is Zolo Merjuins. I'm not even going to try that. Blue Beetle, which is set to debut in theaters this August. The teenage superhero has been described as a fusion of Green Lantern and Iron Man, with brief glimpses of that person's titular hero having trickled out to the public. Blue Beetle may remain shrouded in mystery, with many wondering if the character even has a future beyond the DCU debut. But the film has received promising response from test screenings, as audiences sit and wait for the first proper look at the superpowered blockbuster. So the trailer is imminent. The Beatles, so excited for this one. Trailer coming soon. You're going to love it. Stay tuned. On his personal Instagram page, George Lopez, being, a star in the movie, which I'm sure Katie will be super stoked for. She loves her some George Lopez. Posted a photo of him alongside 3 of his Blue Beetles co-stars, teasing that the trailer is coming soon. So it's coming. We're gonna get it. Just maybe within the next month.
I feel like DC gives us a lot of this really high anticipation, and then it's like we don't ever really know when it's going to happen. So you'll get really hyped for this Blue Beetle trailer, and then it might not come out for 90 days if we see the movie at all. They're also like they're tearing everything down with the entire studio's worth of stuff. We know they've cut actors and actresses and movies and plans and scripts, and they've restarted, and James Gunn is throwing out the whole book. So like this is one of those franchises. I think this could be a really cool blend for the DCU. I was going to say Iron Man and like an Ant-Man style comedy relief. Like it would give you that kind of like light-hearted edge like to it. And having a George Lopez in there obviously means there's going to be some comedy aspect to it anyways. But I think this could be a good hit for DCU if done right.
There are rumors that there's going to be a new title this weekend for WWE. I actually saw that in my DMs right before the show started. Travis said DC lives for foreplay or loves foreplay. Probably both.
They
Allison
both work.
text you the article about Steven Seagal's daughter training with Dustin Rhodes. If you want to give us a little taste of that.
I'm pulling it up now. Steven Seagal's daughter has first ever wrestling match as she trains with WWE legend Goldust. This is coming from Metro News. Alistair McGeorge posted this. It's today the 27th. So yeah, this morning. The current AEW star, best known to WWE fans as Goldust, is currently helping develop the Stars of Tomorrow at the Rhodes Wrestling Academy in Austin, Texas, not San Antonio, sorry. And he gives Arissa a shot at chasing her dream. She's a 29-year-old athlete, the daughter of the big screen action star Steven Seagal, is going to be featured ultimately, blah, 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 in an upcoming showcase for the school. So it'll be her first match. She has WWE aspirations, and it sounds like she has a bankroll behind her. So we'll probably be hearing her name in the next year or two, I would assume, in either Jacksonville or Connecticut, one of the two.
I'm going to guess Jacksonville, seeing as that's where Dustin's at. You know, you get Booker T feeding in people from his school into WWE. I don't see why Dustin wouldn't do the same thing for AEW.
It makes sense, especially right now with him being kind of their head trainer and everything. Him and QT are kind of that two-headed dragon on the training and coaching side of AEW. So it makes sense to funnel her there. But the article quoted directly to AEW, which I thought was weird that they used his name Dustin Rhodes, but they also called him Goldust 2 separate times in reference to WWE. So I'm like, I don't think Goldust is recruiting her. It's probably Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Travis, Austin is like an hour away from San Antonio. However, you couldn't make that hour drive to come see me when I was in Austin to visit me, and I haven't seen you in fucking forever, and I miss you. I haven't seen you since my wedding. So like,
I was in Atlanta and he didn't want to see me.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Wow.
We were both really busy when I was down there. I just had to, he made the same shot at me on air, so I had to make it back.
Our last bit of news for today, we're going to close it out with Samsung's 5nm chip rumored to power the next-gen Nintendo Switch 2. So this is coming from IGN Southeast Asia by an author with the last name Bahari, whose first name, again, I am not going to butcher, but you can go check this out. So a new report suggests that we may soon learn more about the technology that could be powering the rumored successor to the highly successful Nintendo Switch. Since 2019, there's been speculation about what the new console will be like and when it will be announced. However, little has been confirmed about the features and technical improvements over the Switch's nearly 6-year lifespan. According to the tweet from Korean-based source, the NVIDIA Tegra process, NVIDIA Tegra, it was all in caps. It looked like an acronym.
It's like Kenta.
Okay.
It's all, yeah.
Okay. The NVIDIA Tegra processor from the Nintendo Switch successor will be made using Samsung's 5 nanometer process, 5 LPP or lower power plus. Another NVIDIA Tegra for Nintendo Switch will manufacture from 5 LPP. We'll keep uploading this info to Twitter as soon as I can. So this contradicts previous reports that the Switch 2's custom processor will be based on NVIDIA's Ampere design, which utilizes Samsung 8 nanometer or TSMC 7 nanometer processes. A smaller process like the 5 nanometer process means the chip is more powerful, efficient, while producing more processing power, which would allow the new Switch to consume less power while delivering better graphics. This all sounds fucking fantastic. There have been rumors in the past that Switch Pro with the bespoke version of the NVIDIA Tegra Orin processor, significantly faster than the current Switch technology, was in development. With the OLED version already available and the age of the Switch, it seems that Nintendo is moving to the Switch 2. I play the Nintendo Switch more than I have a PS5. I have an Xbox Series X. I have my Nintendo Switch. The versatility of the fact that I can take it on the go, I can, sit there. Last night we were watching Masked Singer. I was with my wife. I have my Switch. I'm playing my Switch. We're watching a show. It's unless you have two TVs in the room, it's not something you can really do. I can't play Hogwarts while Kate's watching, whatever's going on. Also, for me, a lot of the games I like to play on the Switch, I don't really need sound for, so I can keep the sound down. I can play. I know what's going on. It's very enjoyable. So the idea of getting a Switch 2 with a better processor, with better graphics, with higher capability is extremely appealing to me, as long as they keep that. And I don't know why they ever, it's a Switch 2, so it's got to go from console to handheld. That's the whole idea of the Switch. That's what a Switch is.
I love the idea of them finally giving Nintendo a processor that's going to keep them in the runs, like in the running with PlayStation and Xbox. They're not going to be as powerful as PlayStation or Xbox, but that's not what Nintendo wants to do. But even then, putting themselves in the competitive ballpark of a PlayStation would give Nintendo the edge because of the portability factor. I don't like remote play on my phone. I can play my PS4 games on my iPhone. I don't like the way it works. I don't like, having that. What I love about my Switch is I can throw it in my bag for a show. And then if we've got an hour downtime before bell time, I can pull my Switch out and play Zelda or Animal Crossing or Pokemon or whatever I want to, and then shut it down and throw it away. And it's always right there. You put the equivalent of an i5 processor in that, and then I'm able to play the same games that are on my PlayStation, but on my Switch instead. I would get the Switch 2 just for that factor alone. Just to be able to play the next gen games on a Switch and take them everywhere. That's every 10-year-old kid who had a Game Boy Color's dream. You know what I mean? Like, that's where it's at. So that would give them the edge, in my opinion.
On top of the fact that it then allows some of your favorite Nintendo games to up what they offer. Again, I'm a huge Pokemon player, and we have made huge strides in Pokemon through the Nintendo Switch, from Sword and Shield to Legends Arceus to Scarlet and Violet. So being able to see, with upgraded graphics and processing ability, what more Pokemon could do, what more they could offer through something like Mario Kart or Super Smash Brothers, these Nintendo staples.
Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, all the new Zelda games, giving the processing power to double the size of that map. You could play, it would become Skyrim. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would just be that big and that engulfing of what you do. It's ridiculous to think about. Nintendo could pull ahead with the next generation if they do this right. But that's just my opinion.
No, I agree with you. I agree. I think that's it for today, Will, which is kind of sad. I'd love to hang out and talk to you a little bit more, a little longer.
I'm looking forward to it. Like, I always like when I get to come on here, I get to hang out with you guys, but specifically you, Mateo. It's weird because you and I talk often, but I very seldom ever get on screen with you. Like, that's what seems weird about it. So I enjoy these moments when we get to sit down one-on-one and have our time, with no Vince or no Al. It's just Will and Matt time.
I really just love it when it's Will and Matt time, or even Will, Matt, and Al time, but mostly
or Will, Matt, and Katie, whatever variation we need of it.
Tell everyone where they can find you and what you have going on, if they want more of the Will Gray.
Well, I appreciate it. And as always, I'm thankful for you and Travis and Mara and Vince and Katie to let me in your domain as the honorary use of It's Creatia World. So I'm glad to be here as always. I am the Will Graham, the host and lead writer for botchbotsandchairshots.com. You can find us anywhere you do anything on the internet. Like, follow, subscribe, unsubscribe, then subscribe again. There's something else.
I guess, you know what? Even though you did that, we got one more. There's something else for Will.
I like when this happens.
I'll pull this up. It's a surprise that Travis put in there.
I love
from IGN as well. Ryan Dinsdale Zelda Tears of the Kingdom gameplay presentation coming tomorrow. Upcoming Nintendo Switch exclusive The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is getting a 10-minute gameplay presentation tomorrow from Zelda producer. Announced in the tweet from Nintendo America below, the presentation, which wasn't explicitly called a Nintendo Direct, will take place on March 28th at 7 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. UK, so midnight. Join the Legend of Zelda series producer for roughly a 10 minutes of gameplay from The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. The tweet said, adding that it can be watched on Nintendo's YouTube channel.
The things I'm looking forward to: fishing, vehicles. Like, they're adding, like, the fact that they're going to have things like into the game that have never been in Zelda's before. And they've done fishing in previous games. They've done fishing. You can ride Epona the horse, but this is going to be such a huge, drastic change in everything they've done up to this point in Zelda. And what I'm really upset with at this point is hearing all the excitement about the Switch 2, and then knowing I'm going to get Tears of the Kingdom now, and then I won't get another Zelda game for 5 years on the new graphic card. That's what hurts my heart the most, is because I'm so excited to get Tears of the Kingdom this summer, but then I know I won't get another Zelda for 3 to 5 years on the new Switch when it comes out.
True. That could be disappointing, but it might be 3 to 5 years before the new Switch comes out. We don't know.
Also true. The Switch is, Vince and I talked about it. Like, what, the number 2 selling video game system of all time now, behind the PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's ridiculous the amount of units it sold.
But you know what else is ridiculous?
What's that, sir?
Watching us at twitch.tv/Creatia World and not throwing us a sub, especially if you have an Amazon Prime account. You can link it to your Twitch account, and you get a free sub every single month. And you can give that to your favorite Twitch content creator. Hopefully it's me. I think I deserve it. And by proxy, the rest of Creatia World, but mostly me. Like, let's be honest. Or going to youtube.com/Creatia World and not liking, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell so you know when we go live for every show, whether it is the Creatia Conversation Monday through Friday at roughly noon, Smack and Raw every Friday at 11 p.m. Central, midnight Eastern time, Getting Offed whenever we do it, and all of the other various bits of content we have for you, Creators of Creation, which Travis was scheduling while Will was out in Atlanta, and that's why he ignored him, and has been dropping so frequently. All of the stuff we have for you, it's right here at YouTube, at your fingertips, and all you have to do is click that notification bell, like and subscribe, and you'll know when everything drops. And if you like watching later and you want a little more intimate viewing, or maybe some Creatia exclusives like our porn parody watch along,
So much fun,
of the Texas Dildo Masquerade, the next one being Evil Head, coming sometime next month. Go to pornhub.com/model/Creatia World. There you will find everything that you can find on YouTube, plus a Pornhub exclusive or two. And just, it's my favorite platform. It's something that is very unique to us, and I like that about what we do, and I like that we get love over there. So please go check that out. If you want to support us a little bit, we have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/Creatia World. And for $1, which again, I know I'm worth, you get Return to Wrestling from Travis and I, where Travis makes me sit down and watch, and in some cases rewatch, some old WCW that I'm vaguely familiar with, but did not watch in completion, and suffer through a lot of fucking Hulk Hogan, and just reminding me how terrible he's always been. But you don't just get that for $1. You also get Travis and Mara's Multiverse series, where they watch comic book animated films and discuss those as well. So that's 2 shows for $1. And then there are tiers that offer you other things. So if there's more that you want from us, you can go there. But for a single $1 a month, we're giving you 2 exclusive shows that you can only find there. If you want to find everything that is Creatia World, you can go to Linktree/Creatia World. That's linktr.ee/Creatia World. That'll get you the links to the audio platform if you want to listen to us, on Apple or Spotify or Google, however you listen to it. If you're driving, it'll give you the YouTube, it'll give you the Pornhub, it'll give you the Twitch, it'll give you everything so you know where to find us. If you want to know a little bit more about us, we have our own website. It's creatiaworld.com, and you can go there and find out about me, Travis, John, Mara, and Vince. What are our likes? What are our dislikes? What are our Hogwarts house? How big is Travis's penis? Where can you find Vince's feet pics? All of these things may or may not be available over at creatiaworld.com. The only way to find out if I'm lying to you or not is to go there and check out the link. If you want to follow us on social media to keep up with us, we have an Instagram, a TikTok, and a Twitter, and it's at It's Creatia World, ITSCREATIA World. Go check that out. Especially now, Vince and I have been trying to put a lot more content out on the Creatia World Twitter. I know Vince and Mara are doing the Instagram thing. I don't do that. I'm working on this house. Like, you see this room, but I've been working on the house as a whole. Once it is complete, I'm going to get access to that TikTok, and I'm going to give everybody a tour of what I've been talking about on Smacking It Raw and on this show week in and week out, about all the stuff that I've done, so you guys can see the completed house and all the cool shit up close and personal that we have going on here as well. If you're not a Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok person, you're old school, you like your Facebook, we got a page for you. It's facebook.com/CreatiaWorld. You can follow us there. And then we've got subgroups. If you're a wrestling fan, facebook.com/group/SmackingItRaw. If you're a fan of Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon, you can go to facebook.com/group/ThemDragons and get in on the conversations there as well. Will, you plugged yourself, but is there anything else you want to talk about before I plug myself and we get out of here?
I don't know. Allison said something about a ghost hunt. That all of a sudden got my interest. I was like, wait, there's a ghost hunt?
I've explained this. There was a ghost. I'm pretty sure that I
she's talking about yours at your
Yes.
house. Okay.
Brought it over to Michigan and left it with a friend because he hasn't been bothering us since. So yeah, possibly a ghost hunt if he comes back. You know, we can do that content for TikTok as well. But I am the patron saint of podcasting, the word Matt Ritter, and you can follow me on Twitter only at Matt Ritter. That's at MATTRIDD or RIDDER. Yeah, I fucked up the T's. Yeah, it's at Matt Ritter. Go follow me there. I'm also at Getting Off if you want horror content. But for a Shelf by Trade and Mark by Choice, the Will Gray, I am, again, the patron saint of podcasting, the word Matt Ritter, and this has been your number one news source for all that nerdish on Pornhub.
Bye.